Hi, I'm Andrea Tibbet. This is my self-introduction speech for Fundamentals of Oral Communication. Here it goes. Growing up in my house, I had a very easy life. My parents gave me pretty much whatever I wanted and didn't ask for anything in return. I didn't have to have a job because my parents paid for my car and paid for gas and gave me as much spending money as I wanted for whatever I wanted. I was a spoiled brat. When I moved out and started college, the picture became a little clearer, and I realized that my life wasn't going to be a cakewalk like my parents had made it. It wasn't until my recent trip to Guatemala that these realizations became crystal clear and made me feel very grateful of where I live and the things I had taken for granted. At first glance, Guatemala seemed pretty normal. People had average homes and jobs. However, as I got further behind the scenes, I saw that this wasn't the case at all. The majority of Guatemala's population is very poor. I met a family whose home was similar to a tin can. They had a dirt floor and had to fight for their meals. This was the family I had the privilege of getting to know as I built a brand new home for them. This house was by no means what we in America would call a house, but to them, it's a mansion. The work was very hard and tiring under the Guatemalan sun, but I found myself not complaining because I felt really good about what I was accomplishing. When my group finished their home, this family bought us a big bottle of orange soda, and I remember thinking to myself as tears started to roll down my face, wow, this family has nothing, yet they are willing to give everything just to show us how much they appreciate what we are doing. At the end of that day, I had changed for the better. This family had taught me so much about appreciation for family and a home, and that no matter where you live or what you live in, as long as you have family, you have everything you need. Along with being thankful for family, I have also learned to be grateful for the clothes on my back and food in my fridge. Every Friday in Guatemala, there is a food distribution and clothing distribution within the project I was associated with. Farmers and restaurants around Guatemala donate their extra fruits and vegetables that would otherwise be thrown out, and we hand them out to the less fortunate families. I got to help hand out just a handful of different vegetables to the hundreds of families that walked through the line. They were all very happy and thankful to be receiving little amounts we were distributing. They had grown accustomed, however, to making this amount last for days or even weeks. As family after family walked through the line, I could recall many times when I was growing up that I didn't like something on my plate or had way too much than I was hungry for, and the rest would just get thrown away. It really hurts when you realize that these people are starving and need way more food than what they are receiving. I have become much more sparse when buying food now. I only buy a little bit to make sure nothing gets wasted, and when I have leftovers, they get ate before I make anything new. The money that I saved by being this kind of shopper, I have been putting aside, and when I go back, I will donate this to the various families in Guatemala that need it. While the parents are trying to fulfill the needs of their families, sometimes the children aren't getting enough of the nutrients they need. The children then are taken away and put in the malnutrition center called Casa Jackson. In Casa Jackson, there are volunteers that feed, play, and love the children that are admitted. I got the chance to be one of these volunteers and loved every minute of it. The children are the happiest children you will ever meet and have every reason in the world not to be. There is a checklist in Casa Jackson that every family has to meet before the children are allowed to return home. It could take a few months or sometimes years before they are allowed to go back. That experience taught me not to worry so much about the little things because they could be much worse. Also, that I should cherish every minute that I have with my family because I never know when they could be taken away from me. I am very grateful that I had the opportunity to experience Guatemala and witness their way of life. If it weren't for this trip, I would still be taking some things for granted and stressing the little things. The events I got the chance to take part in, such as building a house, distributing food, and caring for children at Casa Jackson, have bettered my life. That experience has made me grateful for the things I have in the country I live in.